So this is the Phantom 4 Pro, in case you're not familiar with it. And this is what we're doing or using to get a lot of the drone shots that we're getting. Now, we'd like to show you the things that we're learning. And a big thing that's revolutionary, mind you, that I just learned is polarizers for these. And actually, like a couple months ago, I didn't even know you could actually stick polarizers on this. I knew you could stick ND filters, but I didn't realize polarizers. So I've spent a good amount of time researching all these different polarizers, talking to different friends and seeing what they suggested, and I've learned so much just within the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to share with you, this is not paid or sponsored in any way, but I'm going to talk about my favorite polarizer for the Phantom 4 Pro. They do make them for the Phantom 4 as well. There's different models though for those compared to the Phantom 4 Pro because it is a different diameter, or there's something different about this one. So what I use is these right here, Polar Pro Cinema Series, and their ND filters and their polarizer. So a 3-pack, it comes with, not this one, but it comes with 3 that look almost identical to this one. This is the actual one that goes onto the Phantom. But it comes with 3 different ones for different ND filters. So ND4, ND8, and ND16. So that's neutral density. That's a whole nother tutorial within itself right there. But this is going to significantly get rid of reflections and make the sky significantly bluer and the greens more greener just because it's getting rid of the reflections. So while you're in Hawaii especially, you have so much pretty scenery and so much water and so much blue skies that this changes the way the image looks significantly. It doesn't change the colors, it enhances the colors. So the Phantom 4, when you get it, Phantom 4 Pro, it has this lens protector already on it. So I didn't realize this, but it just screws right off, so you can see me unscrewing it just like that. And then with this, these polarizers, it comes with 3 different ones. They're all polarizers and all 3 of them are different NDs, but they just screw right on just like that. And it also acts as a protector for your actual lens for the camera. That's right there. You definitely don't want to scratch that. These are significantly easier to replace. Now I can look straight at the image. You're not getting the most out of the polarizer until you actually twist this. You can see right here, it's twistable just like circular polarizers are, is you twist it based on where the sun is. The way you're gonna get the most out of a polarizer is by facing the opposite way of the sun. So right now the sun's over there. So looking this way, that's where we're gonna see the biggest help from a polarizer. If I'm looking directly at the sun, you're probably not gonna see much of a difference, if any difference at all. If you look this way or this way, compared to if the sun's back behind us, you're gonna see a little bit more of a difference, but definitely if you want the most out of your polarizer, you need to be looking exactly away from it. So you need to base your shots knowing where the sun's going to be. So sunrise is over there in the morning, so if I want the most out of my polarizer, I'm not looking towards the sunrise, I'm looking towards where the sun is facing, or opposite way of the sun. Now, when you start shooting, you don't know exactly what way you should rotate the circular polarizer. So the way I'll do it is I'll boot up the drone, and then I'll use the controller as a monitor, and I'll face this where I want it to be facing, where I think I'm gonna be getting the shot, and I'll rotate this to see when the colors are the most vibrant. So the camera's booting up right now. I already have a circular polarizer on there. Like I said, it comes with ND4, ND8, and ND16. I'm going with ND8 right now. The reason I'm going with that is I don't always shoot at 1/50 or 1/48 is kind of the film term. I like, a lot of times I'll get screen grabs as well, so I don't want to use the highest ND filter. But if I'm using the highest ND, that will allow it so I can easily shoot at 1/48 or 1/50. Now, because the sun is out, this is like a perfect example where we can see the difference with these polarizers, and I'm facing away from the sun. Now right now the sun's about there, so it's not like sunset-y, but you're definitely gonna see a significantly increase in the color saturation. Let me show you an example of exactly what it looks like. So right now, polarizer's on, I'm waving my hand in front of the camera. I'm gonna tilt up a little bit just so we can see the sky a little bit better. So the polarizer's already on there, and I think it's already in a good spot. Let me move this forward just a little bit. So I'm gonna rotate it. So that's what it looks like, essentially without a polarizer. And this is with a polarizer. So you can see it makes the clouds pop significantly more. And that's all polarizer magic. That's not doing anything in color correction. And once I throw it in like Adobe Premiere, I can start bringing out the colors even more. But if you don't have the colors to begin with, it's significantly harder to actually make them pop. So this is one of the best kept secrets, I think, that people aren't using to take advantage of filming with drones. So I'm gonna pop off this polarizer right now. The camera's still recording. Now because it is an ND filter, it's gonna get significantly brighter. And I'm just going to get my settings so it's exposed correctly. For right now, I'm just gonna raise the shutter speed so you can kind of see what it's gonna look like with it. So it still looks good, but it's gonna look even better if you're using one of these polarizers as far as bringing out the colors, bringing out the blues and the greens. That's where you see it the best, and definitely in the water. So some of my favorite shots are looking straight down at the water. So in order to make sure, I'm gonna put this polarizer back on, and once again, the actual screen or the image is gonna get a lot darker because that's what ND filters do as well. And because this is half ND, half polarizer. Now I'm gonna adjust my settings again. And I'm gonna go a little bit lower. And I know now I'm gonna be getting a shot where the drone is up above, looking down at my subject, and my subject will be my wife, Megan. And we're gonna look straight down, and I'm gonna get a shot with the polarizer and without the polarizer so you can see the difference as far as how much the blues pop or don't pop. And for both these shots, there was no color correction. It was just strictly to show you what the polarizer it does in camera. Now, the big question, or the thing you need to be aware of, it's not just a matter, once again, of putting the polarizer on. No, with a circular polarizer, you're gonna have to kind of rotate it. Like I said, this does rotate. You're gonna have to rotate it the right way to make sure you're seeing the best image possible to get rid of those reflections. Now, it's hard to know once I take this up there what I'm actually getting with the water. So the best suggestion I have is to take this right up to the water and then just rotate it left or right to get the best image possible. So walk down with me. It's actually, and I've actually never, I've done shots looking straight at the horizon, but I haven't done shots looking straight down with the polarizer. So I'm just gonna take it right by the water, and I'm gonna face the camera straight down, and I'm gonna start recording. Hopefully I don't drop anything. And I'm gonna rotate up a little bit. Now I'm just going to spin this left and right, and I'm gonna see what gets rid of the reflections the best. So that doesn't look as good. And let me go a little closer. Once again, because I know I'll look straight down, I'm trying to mimic exactly where I think the drone's gonna be. And then I'm basing the polarizer off of that. Now it might work too, just because I haven't tested it. It might be easier and it might work the same way, looking straight at the horizon with the water this way, and let's just see what happens with the actual image. So you can see the water there, and then I'm gonna rotate it, and now the water looks significantly better, all from rotating. And if you're struggling with figuring out what it's doing to the water, just look at the sky, and when the sky pops out the bluest, that's what you're gonna want set. And now there's actual cloud that's just come into the shot, so it makes it a lot harder too. I'm gonna cut that right there. It makes it a lot harder too to adjust for that. Like I said, just realizing it firsthand, it's not as easy looking straight down adjusting it, so I'm gonna be adjusting to the horizon in the water, and I'm gonna use that for actually setting the polarizer to where I think is gonna be the best. What I realized today is I was gonna film the mountains here at Kualoa. Before I took off, I did the same thing I just talked about, where I pointed the camera, the drone, straight at the mountains. The sun was over there, so I knew I was gonna get the most out of the image, and I started rotating this to see what was gonna be the best. Now, when the skies were the bluest, they were almost so vibrant that it was too vibrant for what I wanted because it didn't make the mountains pop. So I didn't go all the way down as far as no polarizer. I kind of went in the middle, so they weren't super blue. It was kind of a middle range blue, so the mountains would still pop out and the skies would be bluer than normal. So just know you don't always have to have it to the max as far as polarizers go, that there is a happy medium too, depending on what you want to get out of your image. I do love blue skies though, with that being said. And yeah, that is my thoughts with these polarizers. You can buy them on Amazon. I got ours at Best Buy, like I said at the beginning, but there's so many different places you can get them. But Amazon, I think that's like the easiest way to get them, so I'll have links down below in the description. Keep in mind though, I'll have ones for the Phantom 4, and then I'll have a link to the Phantom 4 Pro, because they are two different polarizers, so don't buy the wrong one or you will regret it, because it won't work on your drone. But I do love them, and if you're curious more on polarizers, I did a polarizer video on DSLR cameras. My favorite brand for those are B+W. They have an amazing line that have it for all the different lenses on DSLR cameras. So every video that you see where the sky looks blue or significantly bluer is because we're using polarizer. So it's kind of one of our trademarks to make your image pop. But there's definitely a night and day difference. And I'll have a couple examples pop up right now from our DSLR video just to kind of show you how much a polarizer does affect your image, especially dealing with water, skies, and anything green, because there's always a lot of reflections on that, but that's where usually you can see the biggest contrast or the biggest effect that these are pulling on. But if you're definitely wanting the most out of your image, get a polarizer today. So I'll have links below down in the description. Wasn't sponsored by anyone, I just wanted to share the knowledge. Thanks so much for watching. As we always say, over and out, baby.